Hey everyone, One Big Boss here, and it's a pretty good day. I went to the random flea market with a bunch of friends of mine, and of course we've been going to this place for well over 10 years now, and it just gets better and better, at least for me every time I go, because I know how to make deals with people and such. And this is pretty much this episode of Video Game Pickups is pretty much entitled The Day of Sega, because this is what I picked up there was just pretty much, it's all Sega stuff. So let's get into it first. First game I'll show you, which has relevance to the new review I'm working on. I mean, it's been a while, but if you saw my previous video, you'll know why it's taken me so long to do the reviews and stuff. But this one is SpiderMan Venom, Separation Anxiety. Used to rent this all the time for the Super Nintendo with my friends, and we actually had fun with it, but I know that this was actually not the better, this was actually the worst one out of the two of Maximum Carnage in this, because this is like a continuation of it. But the reason why I liked this so much was because it had a two-player option in it, which Maximum Carnage did not. And if you all remember, Maximum Carnage was a hard-as-fuck game to play. So I was really happy to pick this up. Let's see here. What do we got next? Oh yeah, I'll start with this. This has actually got a lot of relevance right now because it's what me and my sister have been rewatching on Netflix, and we finished up before I had to move back home. Power Rangers games for the Sega. Oh yeah. Now I have the fighting one, but I didn't have the movie. Now I knew this was obviously not the same as the Super Nintendo one because it was a fighter. It had the Green Ranger, and as you can see him right there, and all that cool jazz. And this one actually is also different from the Super Nintendo one as well. So I'm looking forward to playing that because I never did play it. Or this is a fighting game. Or I think it's is it a fighting game? Looks like it is. I didn't know that. Interesting. Well, the story behind these was the guy who sells them at that flea market, he's kind of, I don't trust him. I've seen what he does. He'll give a price to one person, and when a different person comes along to look at that item, he changes it, because nothing is labeled at that place, at his stand at the flea market. I've noticed it time and time again. So I've argued with him, and he goes, well, I asked him how much for those, he wanted 2 for $20. Now, normally, if the boxes were in good condition, that would have been a good deal. But unfortunately, they are in pretty rough shape, as you might have been able to saw when I was flipping them by and stuff. But I told him I was like 2 for 15, and he goes 2 for 18. And I plainly pointed to him, 2 for 10, and he did it. Because I told him, I was like, dude, the boxes are all like mashed up and everything like that. So I mean, it's your call, but that's my final offer, and he caved and gave it to me. So go me. Next up would be this one. Fighting Megamix. Well, Fighters Megamix, sorry. This actually comes with Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers. Now, Fighting Vipers was at Chuck's stand, the guy that I always go to because he gives me great deals and he knows games. He's there to make $1, but he's also very fair at making deals, and that's why I like going to him. So, I haven't played Fighting Vipers before. I was going to get it on the Xbox Live. Now I don't have to because I can just boot up the Sega Saturn. And Virtua Fighter I've played many times over the years. So next up would be The Last Bronx. This is actually a game I have not played. I don't know much about it. I looked it up I think like once or twice. But I am glad to have this fighting game because it looks interesting. But even from like all the stuff on the back, it looks pretty cool. I mean, this is when box art was, you know, badass and shit like that, you know. And the final one, which I had to get input from my buddy because I couldn't exactly remember which was the better of the original two, Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, personally, me and him, we like number 3 better, but 2 is very good because I used to play it on the PSN because I downloaded it from the PlayStation Store when my PlayStation was still working. But anyway, I could have gotten 1, but I didn't, so I got this instead. Because 1 was there, and Super Buster Move was 3 was there for the Sega Saturn. Chuck was telling me he found a guy that had all these great Sega games and stuff that he was getting rid of because he needed to. Sadly, no Dreamcast games. But oh, and the last great thing. It's not video game related, but
by Odin's beard.
Ta-da! This is actually going to be a one of the Christmas gifts for my sister because she loves Thor, and I figured that, you know, during the cosplay thing, she can make a female Thor outfit at one point. You know, she did the Vincent Valentine one and Sarah's Victoria of Hellsing and, you know, Final Fantasy and all that jazz, so decided to pick this up for her. Pretty nifty, huh? Well, that's pretty much it for this episode of Video Game Pickups. I'm glad everybody loved and enjoyed it. So as like I ask at end of every one of my videos, if everybody could please thumbs up the video and subscribe and leave comments and let me know what your best video game pickup of all time was. And for this specific episode, what was your best Sega video game pickup or Sega game from your childhood? Because I'd really like to know, because a lot of people have been commenting and telling me what they like, and it just makes me remember a lot of the old Sega classics that I've forgotten over time. So everybody, thanks for watching. I'm One Big Boss, and I will see you all next time. Let's go do some damage, Mjolnir.